Hello everybody, Mega Goal 4, Unit 4, You Are What You Eat, Listening, Pronunciation, and Vocabulary Builder. Page number 59. So the title of this unit is You Are What You Eat. Please move on to page number 59. So let's take a look right now at the objectives. Number 1, listen to answer the questions. Number 2, practice pronouncing 2-word verbs and 3-word verbs. Number 3, read and give the meaning of the new words. راح نسمع عشان نجاوب على الأسئلة. راح نتدرب على طريقة نطق الأفعال اللي تتكون من كلمتين وتتكون برضو من 3 كلمات. راح نقرأ وكذلك نعطي المعنى الصحيح للكلمات الجديدة. So right now we will be looking at the first thing, which is the listening part. So right now listen to the process for creating a bar of chocolate. At each stage in the process, the chocolate has a different name. Write these names in the correct order in the chart. طبعا راح نسمع إلى عملية صنع لوح الشوكولاتة. في كل مرحلة من البروسيس الشوكولات الشوكولاتة لها اسم معين. كل مرحلة يعني لها اسم معين. You have to write these names. مطلوب منكم تكتبون هذه الأسماء in the correct order بالترتيب الصحيح in the chart. Okay, so get ready to listen to the process for creating a bar of chocolate, and later on we will be answering the question.
5. Listening. Listen to the process for creating a bar of chocolate. At each stage in the process, the chocolate has a different name. Write these names in the correct order in the chart.
Chocolate comes from the cacao tree, a tree that grows in the tropical rainforests of a number of countries, including Brazil, Indonesia, the Ivory Coast, and Ghana. The first step in turning cacao into chocolate candy is the harvesting of cacao pods. Unlike many modern crops, cacao pods must be harvested by hand instead of machine. After workers pluck each pod by hand, they open the pods with a long knife called a machete. Then the workers take out the cacao or cocoa beans and throw away the husks. Workers place the beans in large piles and cover them with banana leaves. The beans are left there for about a week. During this time, the beans turn a deep, rich color, and the cocoa flavor and aroma develop. This process is called fermentation. After fermentation, the beans are scooped into sacks and shipped to chocolate manufacturers. Once the manufacturers receive a shipment of beans, they get down to the business of processing the cocoa into chocolate. The manufacturing process involves many steps, including roasting the beans at extremely high temperatures, separating the shell from the inside of the bean, and getting rid of the shells. The broken bean bits that remain are called nibs. The nibs are then crushed up into cocoa mass and melted. Manufacturers blend the melted cocoa mass with milk and sugar. These ingredients are churned until they become a brown powder called crumb. Cocoa butter is added to the crumb. This mixture becomes a thick liquid called chocolate paste. The paste is put into a machine that smooths it out. The liquid chocolate is then poured into molds. Finally, the chocolate cools down, is taken out of the mold, and becomes a chocolate bar.
So right now we have listened to the process for creating a bar of chocolate. Now let's write the names at each stage in the correct order here in the chart. So the first one is called the pod, and later on number 2 is called bean. Okay, number 3 is called nib. Number 4 is called cocoa mass. Number 5 is called crumb. And number 6 is the chocolate paste. And the last one, or the final stage, is called chocolate bar. Okay, so if you feel that listening to this audio time is not enough, you can of course run the audio more than one time. Okay, now let's move on to the pronunciation part. Okay, now in 2-word and 3-word verbs, the stress is placed on the second word, the first particle. You have to listen and practice. راح نسمع إلى كيفية نطق الأفعال اللي تتكون من كلمتين أو 3 كلمات، وطبعا التشديد عادة يكون في البراكتيكال الثاني، أو ممكن يكون يعني إذا in 2-word في البراكتيكال. okay، في ال 3-word verb في البراكتيكال الثاني. Anyways, get ready to listen, and later on you have to practice pronouncing these 2-word and 3-word verbs accurately.
Page 59. 6. Pronunciation. In 2-word and 3-word verbs, the stress is placed on the second word, the first particle. Listen and practice.
1. Chocolate comes from the cacao tree. 2. Once they receive a shipment of beans, they get down to the business of processing the cocoa into chocolate. 3. One of the steps in the manufacturing process involves getting rid of the shells. 4. Workers take out the cocoa beans and throw away the husks. 5. The chocolate cools down, is taken out of the mold, and becomes a chocolate bar.
Okay, so right now you can just practice pronouncing 2-word and 3-word verbs. And of course, the more you practice, the more you will pronounce them accurately. And right now, let's move on to 7, vocabulary building. Okay, so you will see these words in the reading on pages 60 and 61. And you have to match the words with their meanings. Okay, before we start doing this, before we start matching the words with their meaning, let's take a look at each one of them separately or individually. So the first one is existence, which means the presence of something in reality. Existence. Stable, which means a common or important item. Vendor, which means someone who sells something. Okay, so we call someone who sells something a vendor. Quandary, which means a situation in which someone doesn't know what to do. Quandary. Indulgence, which means something you let yourself have even though it may be bad for you. Indulgence. Substitute means something that is used in a place of another thing. Substitute. Now the last one is delectable, which means delicious. Delectable. Now, right now, let's take a look at the words one more time and let's match the words with their meanings. So the first one is existence, which means the presence of something in reality. Stable, which means a common or important item. Vendor, which means someone who sells something. Quandary, which means a situation in which someone doesn't know what to do. Indulgence means something you let yourself have even though it may be bad for you. Substitute means something that is used in a place of another thing. Delectable means delicious. So right now you can check your answers with a partner. If you do not understand the meaning of a word, you can look it up in a dictionary or in the dictionary. طبعا ممكن تقارنون إجاباتكم مع زملائكم. في حال ما فهمتوا ممكن أو في كلمة ما استوعبتوها ممكن يعني تشيكون عليها في الديكشنري. Okay, so that's it. We have reached the end of the lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed our lesson. Don't forget as usual to subscribe, share this video with your friends and hit the like button. Till next time, have a good one.